My very first knockoff, and I am super excited to review this one because who is this imposter? Another one of Loki's illusions? Have a taste of Mjolnir! Thor, no! So this is a knockoff of the Amazing Yamaguchi Thor. This is from AC Factory. It's my first one of their figures, but from what I understand, they are known for like going a little bit beyond just making a bootleg or a knockoff of a figure. They will often, like add more accessories and generally try to improve the original. But in general, I'm like not really opposed to the idea of, through whatever means, a company kind of producing a knockoff of a figure long after it's no longer available and improving on it at the same time. Because, let the big companies battle it out when it comes to IPs. At the end of the day, we're consumers. We like toys, and this is a cheap way to get a figure that is currently unavailable officially. So I got this guy from GYZ Toys, which seems to be like the best way to get some of these knockoffs from like CT Toys, Mess Toys, AC Factory. Like, as long as you have a US shipping address, this is definitely the definitive way to go because you're not dealing with like AliExpress and possibly like tariff fees. Like, you just go on the website, buy the figure, and they don't even charge you shipping. It's ridiculous. This was 38 bucks. I don't really know how it works because like clearly this still came from China because this box is jacked up, but like whatever workaround they're using, that seems to be the best way to do it. Now the website does look a little sketchy, like it's basically kind of vague shots of the accessory trays, but as long as you're like in the know and follow these companies on social media, you should be able to find the figure you're looking for and order it. And if you're willing to jump through that hoop, then you might get some really cool figures for a cheap price. And if you want to do that while helping me out, then use my affiliate link in the description and the comments, yada yada yada. But I didn't do this just for that. Like, I was actually really excited to pick this up because as much as I love the original, this has some very cool accessories that I cannot wait to look at. So with that, let's get this guy out of his completely jacked up box. Oh boy, here we go. This is not going to be a satisfying unboxing. Come on. Well, there you go. All right, here he is out of the box. Let's play with him. So, as much as I can throughout the whole video, I'm going to be comparing this guy to the original. And we're starting with articulation and generally just how he feels to handle out of the box. And I am kind of blown away. Like, I've seen photos of bootlegs before, and you can usually like pretty clearly tell the quality difference. But, I mean, like, this is, it's so similar. And actually, in some ways, I kind of like the finish on the bootleg better. Like, this Thor is a bit more shiny. Like you can see it like on the leather on the chest. I actually kind of like the like a little bit less, more like matte finish on this guy a bit better. And in terms of posing, let's see here. So let's set you down, buddy. So like in terms of like moving stuff around, things are feeling a little stiff. But I know that might be because these joints need to be broken in because this is one of like AC Factory's signatures is they put metal pins in the Revoltech joints to improve durability. So definitely once these are broken in a little bit, I think this is going to feel very similar to the original. Now one cool thing I noticed is so they both have this like floating piece for the hair, and this is way tighter. Well, yeah, it's decently tighter. So this just kind of like flops, and this one has a little bit more friction to it, so it's a little bit easier to get it in a different position. Still kind of flops down, but not as much as this one. So one thing I'm noticing with the cape is that because this was like packaged really like bunched up, it tends to kind of like wrinkle a lot. You can kind of see that there. Whereas the original, I don't remember exactly how it was packaged, but there definitely is a lot less wrinkling going on here. So like that might be fixable, but just thought I would mention it. But otherwise the capes are like identical almost. Like you can see this might be the original might be a little bit nicer fabric, maybe. Yeah, like you could definitely see it. Like this looks a little bit cheaper than this, but honestly, like at a distance you would not notice. I definitely didn't notice until we were actually looking at them that close. What else to talk about? Oh, part swaps, of course. So let's try swapping a hand. That is really tight on there, which is always precarious with little tiny joints. There we go. And let's grab another hand here. Maybe a Mjolnir holding hand. He's like, there we go. Got to line it up just right, and then it slides on pretty well, but that's always, you know, a little scary. You don't want to break a wrist joint. He did come with one extra, which is nice. And it even has a little metal pin in it, which is nuts. So I am a little less worried about breaking these joints because of that. But you know, the pegs are still plastic and those could break. But yeah, overall, I'm really impressed. This feels almost exactly like the original in terms of handling. Like, you know, I've had the original since it released about 2 years ago. So everything is a little bit smoother, a little bit looser, but I think that's more just a matter of like the figure being broken in. But articulation and overall feel is nearly identical, which is very, very impressive. The like gap for the cape that like loops around the shoulders is it's like considerably bigger than the original. So like you don't quite get that seamless, like when like the hair is down, like you don't quite get that seamless like hiding the cape. Again, minor thing, you can kind of bunch it up a little bit and fudge it, but just thought I would mention that too. So yeah, in terms of handling, he is absolutely on par with the original, and you have the like added durability of the metal pins. So that is what I would consider to be a definite upgrade. So as far as handling goes, thumbs up for sure. So this is where I talk about accessories, quality of the plastic, paint apps, things like that to generally evaluate whether the figure is worth the price. Now, right off the bat, 38 bucks, less than half of the original, so like price alone, absolutely worth it. So first let's take another closer look at the figures side by side to talk about paint now. We will compare the head sculpts in a minute, but in terms of like being on par with the original, it's so close. Like I'm seeing, like I'm looking through the camera right now to tell, but like maybe there's a little bit of wash on these browns. The metals look nearly identical. Yeah, like I'm seeing very little difference between these guys. Like if you look really close at the arms, you maybe see a little bit, like there might be a little bit more detail on the original, but I mean, there's, you know, nice shading in both. Like you can see those ridiculous veins popping out on both arms really well. In general, like, yeah, this is really close. Like I think the finish is a little bit better on the original, but like you can barely tell. Except when you're looking at like really close under a light like this. Now kiss. So in terms of like the paint on the figures themselves and just like the quality of the plastic, like it is nearly identical. Oh, I did notice mine's helmet is a little bent here, but I can heat that up and get it back into shape, no problem. So now let's dig into some of the accessories and look at them side by side. So first we have the unhelmeted heads. Again, the original is always going to be on the left and the bootleg's on the right. And the original unhelmeted head, I think definitely looks better overall. You can see just a little bit more detail in there. But again, pretty damn close. If you didn't have the original, like I don't think you'd be able to tell. The hair, yeah, like, I mean, there's actually a little bit more like brown near the bottom here compared to the original, but yeah, this is nearly identical too. I like the finish on this better though. This is a little shiny. You could hit it with like a matte varnish and definitely get closer to this look. Still though, very close. Now let's look at hands, and like the same like finish differences on the figures are noticeable here too. Like these are a little bit more shiny. The black is a little bit sharper, but I do like the kind of little bit more matte look on these. It is like uncanny though how similar these are. The little metal studs on the gloves actually seem to be a bit bigger on the bootleg, which is interesting. But again, it's like very subtle, the differences here. But yeah, all the same hands as the original. And of course, got to look at Mjolnir. And yeah, this is identical. I cannot see any differences between these two, honestly. Exact same hammer. And same goes for the alternate heads for the hammer that have the peg hole for the lightning effects. Yeah, this like it looks like they literally just did another production run of this piece. And we're not going to look at all of them, but here's the lightning effects. Again, like looks like pretty much just a reproduction. Almost exactly the same. I can barely... Yeah, genuinely, if you put both of these on the table and didn't tell me which was which, I would not be able to tell. Now here's where it gets interesting. These guys each came with a different set of faceplates, so I'll try to compare the ones that are the same as much as possible, and yeah, we'll take a closer look. All right, so here's kind of the default face, and like, yeah, they, I think they just kind of tried to give him a stronger, like, you know, he's got like, you know, more defined cheekbones, stronger chin on the bootleg here. Yeah, it's funny, like, I didn't realize just how different this was. They are really doing their own take on what they think Thor's face should look like. So yeah, I think, like, really it's subjective, but I like this better. I think there's a lot more kind of like character in these facial features than this one. And here we have the same head sculpt over the eyes, looking to Thor's left. And yeah, basically same comparisons. You know, I definitely like the overall like facial features of this version better than the original. And here's where the similarities end. So on the original here, I'm showing Thor's eyes looking to his right. And on the bootleg, we have this really cool kind of angry expression with a little bit of lightning starting to form around his eyes, which is amazing. So yeah, very different here. But yeah, in general, I'm just really liking the face sculpts on the bootleg more. And next on the original, we have this like angry head, which does look really great. And I think it actually has like better defined features than the rest of the original's face sculpts. And then we got this incredible bearded one. Like, I really like the paintwork on these faceplates. Like, yeah, can I? There we go. That is just, like, it's funny. I see everyone kind of struggling to get this on camera, but like, that is really nice detail. Like, there's a lot of depth to the facial features and some nice details on the beard. Now we're getting into the yelling heads. So, you know, perfectly fine one on the original, and he's looking to his left. That looks pretty good, but look at this. Hold on. Yeah, focus. There you go. Look at that. Oh, that is so good. Like the lightning around his eyes, the detailing on the beard. Like this, hey, come on. No, seriously, like, this is really good. Like in general, I think the faceplates are a huge improvement. And finally, more yelling heads. And yeah, there's a clear winner here. You know, like, it's good to have like him looking in both directions again, but it's actually funny. Mine's got a little bit of a paint fudge there, a little bit too much white in the mouth. But anyway, yeah, we got the lightning around the eyes. This is basically the last faceplate we just looked at, but without the beard. My man, that is so good. Really hard to like, it's like hard to go back to the original when you got options like this. Another slight improvement over the original. So we have like the standard Amazing Yamaguchi stand here, always good. But also there's this cool alternate arm that's just like a bendy wire. That is very cool. So this will just plug right into the stand. Like that. And then it'll plug into the back of the figure, or you can use the claw on here. So that is very cool. So yeah, considering that the quality is basically on par with the original, along with what I would personally consider to be vastly improved head sculpts and some extra stuff, and obviously like the price is just unbeatable, so value is a massive thumbs up. A thumbs up so big I can't focus it. Alright, just in case this is your first time seeing an Amazing Yamaguchi figure, let's scale him up with as many superhero lines as I can fit on screen. Now, as always, if there is a figure that you want to see him next to, let me know in the comments and I will do a YouTube post with pictures to show the comparisons if I have that figure. So, here he is with Mezco 112 Blade, LPZZ Batman, SH Figuarts Insomniac Spidey, Marvel Legends Black Suit Spidey, 1000 Toys Hellboy, and Amazing Yamaguchi Saitama. So depending on how big you want Thor to be compared to other figures, this guy might run a little small. I think he scales really well with SH Figuarts and other like import superhero figures. He's definitely like on the smaller side when you put him next to like an LPZZ or a Mezco. So it really just depends on what you want your display to be. If you really do want like a big Thor that kind of towers over everyone, I would go with the Marvel Legends Maximum Thor. He is pretty cool. So yeah, I think this guy does make a really good Thor. As long as you're putting him with other import figures that he will be a little bit taller than. So as long as that is your goal, I would say his scale is a thumbs up. Okay, this will probably be a quick one, but just for the sake of it, I wanted to see if these faceplates are compatible between the original and the bootleg. So let's pop this out and see if this much cooler new one works on the old one. I'm not really sure why you would do this, because if you have both, then I think you're just good, because like there really isn't anything about the original that the bootleg can't do. But just to test it out, it's a bit of a tighter fit, but it does work. So you absolutely can put the new face plates in the original figure, just in case those absolutely super subtle differences appeal to you more with this one. That sentence could have gone better, but you get the idea. So Kitbash potential, pleasantly surprised that the face plates work, and it's still an Amazing Yamaguchi figure, so you can do some part swaps. So thumbs up for Kitbashing. All right, so to wrap things up, I think this is a fantastic figure. For my first bootleg, I am so impressed at how it basically completely matches the original and still also manages to improve upon it. If you missed out on the original, pick this up. You can get it right now, and it's not that expensive. Like this is, like, as you know, just a consumer, this is the better deal by far. And you know, I don't really have any thoughts on like the morality of this situation. You know, like you can't get the original anymore. This company, through whatever means, worked really hard to produce a figure that clearly they had some passion when producing it. The way they like, you know, they could have just done their best to reproduce the original, but they went ahead and like added the metal pins, they added the new face plates. Like this is still a high quality figure that was clearly produced with the same level of passion that you see from any company producing official figures. And finally, I would like to thank my channel members, Search, Damian, and Carlos D. Cactus. And Ryan Colwell, who just joined while I was editing, and I don't have my microphone, so sorry if this sounds bad. If you are interested in becoming a member, you do get access to a cool Discord server that I'm kind of building into like a wiki of useful links for collectors. And if you go for the more expensive tier, I will feature one of your custom figures, cloth goods, anything like action figure related in a video each month. You'll also get to vote on the next video and have access to a behind the scenes channel in the Discord server. Thank you for your consideration, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.